Hey all, this is welcoming back to Small Brotato, Abyssal Terrorists, like DLC and stuff And this is tier 4, this is Warrior, is this tier. Next tier is going to be Veteran, and then tier after that is going to be Master, and then it's going to be Elite. After that, basically I could do I didn't make up some like tiers for, specifically for Quick Team Arena. And on the back in Team Arena, of course, most of the matches you did was like team-based, but there were also technically some death matches as well. But also, I believe that you could choose what team you belong to, or whatever in the beginning, right? I don't think there were just 2 playable teams. I think you could play as other teams, so maybe there were only 2 teams you could actually choose between, because there were different teams like Pagans, or like, Crusaders, And of course, they had different leaders, and certain characters were like better at certain roles within the team. Like certain characters were better like at the defending and stuff like that. Certain because the bots had like different behaviors. That was kind of true also in the original like Quick Tier Arena, but it was never like how it was in like Unreal Tournament and stuff like that. I always preferred Unreal Tournament over Quick Tier Arena and stuff like that. But Quick Tier Arena was of course done in a very, very different way. It ended up feeling very different. Let me just fix the ring first. I needed to wash my hands a bit extra because I'm a bit, it's the allergies again. It usually actually happens early in September and stuff that, or sometimes in September, like there are several things that I often react to. But now, for example, we have very few left here. We have or things to do still I run with. Streamer, Yak, and Machochist, all the characters we have left. So I did a run with the Hunter, that I like the sniper gun, and I've done a run with the other one. Did we do it? Yeah, we did with the Entrepreneur, right? We did film that, yeah. Because the one that we had a hard time clearing was the one armed. But yeah. But then we also did with we didn't, but I did with the Artificer here and stuff that, so yeah, the Hunter though, I didn't end up using the pole thing. With the Hunter here, I didn't end up using this because here is the thing, right? While on paper the damage looks okay and stuff that, and yes, it scales via range, but it scales very little via ranged stuff that. But if you read it, for example, like 100 plus range, 1 damage for every 10 range you have, which is pretty good, and crit chance modifiers are increased. But the thing is that yes, you gain way more max HP from things and stuff that, and that means of course that you won't have attack speed. If you don't get good attack speed on this, that it's really, really bad. And the problem is that its cooldown is 1.47, so what I actually cleared it with was actually the shuriken, which looks like the damage is bad. But because of the fact that that is precise, that already has a pretty good crit by default. Because the crit chance, or the chance that they show you there, is its base crit chance, that is without counting in the characters like crit modifiers. Stuff that, and then of course that it bounces and stuff that, and it bounces more the more rarer it is and stuff that, so shuriken's really good. Stuff that, and there are obviously some weapons that are always good, right? The main problem is the hiking policy is that if it kind of attacked in AoE way, it would use naturally pierce or something like that, then it would probably be a lot better. But the problem is that its cooldown is so long. But it is almost the slowest, right? Oh, so is this Character Club. But the Character Club is of course better because the Character Club got the huge knockback. The problem is that this got no knockback. So if enemies are moving quick on you, you don't have nothing to knock back with. This is an 8 knockback. Yeah. Post Boy is actually pretty good because it has a pretty good crit on it. And that also gets effective via the range there. Whatever. Yeah, so we have Streamer left. As I said, we have Yak left. So I think I have tried a few rounds with at some point, and then we have Machochist left. Machochist is interesting though, because it's 5% when you take damage until the end of the turn. You get more max HP, you get more HP regen used by default, and you get more armor. So you're meant to okay. 5% damage when you take damage. So you want to be taking damage a lot. So if you have things that self-damage you, if you get like for example the blood transfusion thing, then that's actually really, really good. Because then you can just stack the thing. But what, does it only give you the 5% damage once? We take damage, or is that continually stacking? Oh, do we go with Streamer? Streamer seems actually really interesting. Because you gain the materials when you're standing still, but then of course standing still or having a lot of materials is really bad. And like minus 1% damage for every 15 material, but you get 40% damage while moving. So you want to be moving around. But then you get 2 armor for every structure. So, you know. Okay, you get quite a lot of weapons to choose between. Structures make me think that this will be very, very good with the thing. The main problem though with something like the Screwdriver, for example, is that, for example, like why does only regular landmines exist when there exist many different like types of turrets and stuff like that. Like imagine, right, if they were like, okay, you have the regular landmines used that explode and stuff like that, but then imagine, right, okay, next tier of landmines will be used like how the turret is that, or that will be an incendiary version of the mines that it would like, it would blow up and then it would burn enemies over time or whatever, right? And then maybe there could be like a landmine that quote unquote slows, has like a freezing effect and slows enemies and stuff like that, you know, and you could have like different effects, but yeah. We go with Yak. Yak of course do more damage on bosses. More materials, we gain way less enemies, but they have way more health and more damage. I mean, maybe flute could work, but I've tried to make flute work before, and flute is like really, really hard to make work. And stuff that I feel like, you know. Because just the flute has low damage, that's my problem. Let's go with the Streamer, and he benefits, of course, a lot from our structures. I know we do engineering so often, but still. Or do we do landmines? Now we branch it up. Let's just branch it up. Okay, so you gain materials just by standing still. But that's of course a bad thing to do. Because you lose out on a lot of damage. So the bad thing is, yes, you gain less materials. So, but you don't have negative harvesting thing. So harvesting actually becomes pretty useful. I feel like, you know, with material. But if we go with too many materials, then that's going to be really bad for us. And And I would love to take some of those extra things, but now we're gonna go very aggressive for the branches here. Boom. Nice. 3 branches already, but we're also gonna aggressively go for getting the better branch. Now that was something I actually did on the Artificer. I tried to go for the better branch as quickly as possible. Why does the music feel extra low? It is still 50, 75, 25 there. Yeah, it's 100% on the opacity because I changed it back. Even though during the run when I had a lot of red branches or tier 4 branches, that actually gives you the explosion turret, or basically the rocket turret. It's actually the best quote-unquote turret and stuff that, you know. Although, you know, like, there are benefits to having all of the different turrets and stuff there, but yeah, already have some pretty decent armor though, so let's get some HP regen there. Chopper is nice though. Another branch, we can lock that branch. Screwdriver. No, not jelly. Yeah, that was a bit unlucky there that we got very little that round. So attack speed, yeah, it isn't that great. Cooldown is only 1.0. But shouldn't you have 40% attack speed by moving, or are we not like counting as being moving? Yeah, we do. But yeah, but we need to like... And of course it's gonna become easier if you have a bunch of speed. Then it will become easier as counting as like moving and stuff that, right, you know? Now we missed the material chest there. Harvesting probably. Lock the turret because oh man, a potato throw that early though. Okay, so that allows us to be able to get a wrench, but it feels like we're gaining like very little materials and stuff that, you know. So yeah, I mean they do give you way less materials on this character and stuff that, right? But are you meant to then like be like, okay, use roll for a lot of damage and then they don't care about standing still or whatever, right? That you want to actually be standing still and stuff that, you know. Right. Because you only get -2 damage and it's only 1% every 50 material you have and stuff that, so you know. So what is it just about, okay, like standing still as much as possible and just like rolling for enough damage percent, you know. Yeah, I want to curse. At the end of the wave, and that will start stacking earlier, and yeah, but that increases enemy health. More HP regen is nice. Oh, we can get the attack speed here. More harvesting. Get that, get the turret. There's a blue branch. A grey branch, and then not gay, grey branch. God damn it. Or I mean like the default common, whatever you want to call it, right? But then of course there are no green, there are like no like magic items or whatever, you know. It's that like it's really weird, you know, that, you know. Because we do want to try aggressively go for like getting like a rocket turret as quickly as possible. Because the rocket turret does such a difference in how much damage it does, and especially if you already have like certain backup turrets still, you know, and stuff that, you know. You can get some 8% damage here. So we do this first. Then we combine 2, and then we have 2 blues. And then we need to still keep those. Actually, we do this even. think, yeah. And we roll a few times. Yeah, okay. See, that now gives us the incendiary turret, as it's called, which actually has pretty bad range and stuff that, but I believe us getting range will also quote-unquote affect its range as well. It's going to be very useful. Our attack speed is 0 still, but yeah, you can see that becomes 1.64 instead when it's blue. Of course, eventually we would want to get into a point when we just can stand still and stuff that, right? But, you know, because I feel like we're gonna need to get the small geckos for that to kind of work and stuff that, you know. Recycle that. Get engineering, actually, at this point. Get range. Combine that. And then we get that. Another blue branch and another grey one. Get that. And that's duct tape though. That's good for engineering, but yeah, let's... No, we're not go up to purple yet. I almost thought about going up to purple there already. Because you often want to be really aggressive with the upgrades here and try and get the good turrets as quickly as possible, because it just adds so much more damage. You can even survive sometimes with just having like three like red turrets or whatever, right? And even you can sometimes just survive with even like use 2 wrenches and stuff that, right? Because if you just stick close enough to your turrets, then... Because the good thing about the red turret, of course, is that it's an explosion. So it, you know, it also benefits, of course, from you getting like explosion increase. So if we find a dynamite, for example, that increases explosion damage, I believe that actually does affect the turret. So, but yeah, having farms are also going to become important as well. 1+ engineering, that's just 3 engineering. 3 damage percent there. Spawns a little guy. Oh man. Looking both of those, even though they're expensive. What it is, we go aggressively now because now we've gotten a bunch of like silly good things. But killing a tree, of course, we have like 0 trees right now. Now, having 0 trees doesn't mean that all trees do not spawn. Trees do still spawn because they're part of the game's just default mechanic. But yeah, we would need to either get a garden, except the garden does not count for all 3 things, but it's still very useful to have a garden and stuff that, you know. Yeah, I know our health isn't particularly high, that's a bit of an issue still. Purple ones, as you can see, spawns the laser turret, which is pretty useful, but yeah, I could of course already combine it to having one red already. On red range. So we get this first boom. Keep those 2 locked. Yeah, there's another range. We lock that. Oh man. That would be good once the farm shows up though. We just stand still. Because we have gotten the thing now, this will increase our pickup range by half, basically. The main problem though is our attack speed is so slow with this. Right, like... If we stand still, like that's the main problem. With standing still is, you know, the fact that you suffer from that. So basically you need to get high enough damage and high enough attack speed first before standing still becomes super viable, but it also depends on how many turrets, of course, we have. Okay. It's another chest. Because I mean, the chests are used such an important part of them because, you know, we can get really lucky with the chests, of course. Oh wow. But that will decrease their armor over time, but that's just a lot of damage and a lot of attack speed and the range. We can have padding, which gives us more max HP and more material, so that can counteract some of it. Harvesting. Engineering. Get the vents, get the weird food. Get the pocket factory. Got them go triple purple now. Another blue branch. You can see we only have 4 now of the branches, but yeah, we have except for harvesting. We don't have any like, or we do have some attack speed increase now with this. Just of that, and we have 10% more damage with that. And yes, it will be 1 less armor, but right. But the thing is also like 2 plus armor for every like 1 structure you have. So the more structures we get, use the more turrets we get. Like the more of everything that counts as being like a structure is going to be super beneficial, you know, and stuff like that is just going to make, you know, like maybe it's like good that we're building the streamer mansion, you know, stuff that's, you know, except of course there aren't sandbags or anything we could place. Right? Imagine if there was something that could just prevent enemies to spawn in certain areas or whatever, right? If you could place things, you know, whatever, right, you know. I really want to get the curse here though, even if it's just a little bit. So yeah. The main problem though I'm worried about, that's just one minus armor, that's nothing to do with decreasing your armor or whatever. The question is, do you lose the more HP regen, please? Ooh. Rinse first. And then combine that, boom. We want Taylor first, but we lock the garden. Good. Now we have a red one. Now we will have rocket turret, which is the green one, which fucking shoots missiles. And it fires fairly quickly too. Now the wasps, or the hornets, or whatever you want to call them, are actually really great because not only do they like increase your speed, but we also attack or things are quickly, or turrets attack. We also want to get a stack of books or whatever it looks like. And the diploma will also be very, very useful as well here. Just of that, you know. We do have the thing right, yeah. Plus then killing a 3 spawns a turret. This is also again used extremely useful and stuff like that, but yeah. You might say that the harvesting is not worth going for, but I definitely feel like the harvesting is going to be very, very useful. We also want to actually have more attack speed as well and stuff like that, because, you know, yeah, we're not really going to be relying on the main damage coming from the snail luck attack speed. Lock those and go with that. Boom, boom. 2 purple. Now we can go for 2 reds. Boom. Even though that might seem suicidal, it's just at least how this there's a sponsor turret that shoots explosive bullets, dealing 41 damage, and you can see that the wrench itself scales 100% for melee damage and stuff. That's melee damage is really good for it. But then also, yes, it spawns a turret, and then that scales 150% via the engineering. So, you know, once we get to acceptable engineering levels, which is basically 130-ish, engineering, I would say, is at a pretty decent level. You might think that, oh, that's going to be really hard to reach, but then also when you get things that allow you to scale even more with like engineering and stuff that, you know, then things are going to shoot up, you know. Yes, the tile counts as an extra structure as well, yeah. Because we have 12 plus armor from the 2 plus armor for every one structure. We have 12 plus. And we have 10 armor, so we have minus armor from something. That's 1 reduced dodge. What do we have minus? That's HP regen. Yeah, we'll keep losing armor at the end of the wave. So that could be a bit of an issue eventually if we don't like gain an insane amount of structures. But that also means that we can change our armor like during a wave, right? That for example, when we kill a tree, for example, that should spawn a turret, of course. Right? Which is why trees would be good if we could see pop up. I forgot this wave 12. Nah, that's not our special wave. It's not that now all of a sudden there's a shit ton of enemies spawning. Attack speed, yes. Turret. Get that. Just the quarter staff though, which increases XP gain. A recycling machine, yes. An elemental damage scaling would be good as well, eventually, to get. Yeah. So now we have 13 armor all of a sudden. Yeah, it's just, you know. We have 3 heals from consumables and stuff that because of that curse thing that we got. And I think about it, we're wave 13 and we only have like 2 weapons or whatever, right? You know, stuff that. But yeah, but then of course, yes, we have 2. But these rocket turrets can basically destroy anything almost at this point. But we still need a lot of engineering, of course, because you know. Because that's the thing that we can keep ourselves safe if we just get high enough engineering and stuff that, because then we can make the turrets like really, really useful. And yeah, we need to get more like gathering stuff or like more material enhancing stuff as well here. No. Get a melee damage here. Man, that's cute. But that will give you -4 max HP right now because for some reason, even though we have gotten like, because permanent armor means that means that armor that you have gotten via stuff like this. So that is the main problem is that it's the ashes that is reducing our armor each wave. Mean that we need to gain a bunch of like different stuff that gives you waves here. And normally I don't take the recycling machine when it's used 35% or whatever, right? But you know. But the recycling machine helps with the whole items and stuff that from chests. The real thing that's going to be killing that boss, by the way, is going to be the rocket turrets. Even though it's not doing super much damage right now. We want to get more engineering. Our engineering is really, really lacking and stuff. That's the whole thing, that you cannot just get a bunch of turrets and then hope that they will just carry you, because we need to have had way more engineering at this point. Of course, if we had like more turrets, then that would be useful as well, but still, you know. So we don't kill this boss, then that's going to be really, really bad, and we're not going to, you know. I don't know if we could kill him even if it's close to those turrets. Okay, that's range stamps and attack speed. Engineering. That's another branch. Use that attack speed of so it's about 25%, yeah. Revenge. We use lock the goldfish as well, yes. All of those things are useful at that point. Sorry, engineering is at 16. Yeah, we have seen some decent engineering items. Clockwork Wasp is really good. Ashes technically isn't. But but this Pocket Factory is good as well. And like books are good, of course. But we haven't seen like super many. And sometimes the annoying thing is, sometimes when you're rolling for weapons, like really early on, that's when you can sometimes see a lot of the more common items and stuff that like. And it's really annoying if you quote skip out of a tree and then maybe the game thinks that, oh, that means that you don't want trees, but then you really want trees, and stuff that, so yeah. Because think about the fact that we only have 29 health and stuff that, so, that could be another chest, please. And get that, good. Gecko, nice. For attack speed, yes. Blue. Gray one. Get that just so the reroll becomes better than the next time we reroll. Combine the two blues, so now we have a purple one as well. Yeah, I want to combine up into more breads as quickly as possible here. Even though we are getting very close to the end now. We need to get a lot of materials this round, I feel like, and like boost up the engineering a lot. But that item there that we have locked, of course, is going to be very useful if we can get. Yeah, so that's 2 materials now per thing. As I've talked about before, I think it's meant to symbolize like, oh, you're getting donations, you're getting, super chats and stuff that, new subscribers and stuff that, Okay. Yeah, that isn't super good, but we can get 2 more engineering here. They want attack speed here, boom. Reroll. Oh man. Use lock. Man, I learned my sponsor for 2 seconds though, that is... Engineering for every permanent 1 element of damage. We have the string spook is another form of scaling. Are we even going to be able to afford any of those is the question though. You stand somewhere. You just wait a bit. And then we just try and collect as late as possible here. There's a chest. Go get a chest. Hey, streamer! Blind! He changed his sunglasses into cybernetic implants or something. Almost, Free chest. I was really hoping that was going to be another chest. Okay. Range. Oh man. Nah. No, I don't really want to reroll here. Max HP. The engineering thing. Get the t-shirt. Reroll. There's the elemental damage though. I know that there are cheap elemental damage we can get here. Yes. Yeah, we don't want to stand still when the fucking thing is out here, blah blah blah. So engineering, I thought engineering is at 19, so yeah, so, you know, Shark dude is not gonna have much of a chance. As long as it keeps near Tor. But yeah, but we would already need to have like three, what do you call it, three, or the tier 4 friends at this point. Keeping close to our rocket turrets, like keep between these two, and he will just get mowed down from the rocket turrets. You know, it does a lot of damage. Now he's dead. Doesn't matter if we kill him really later, which we did. I would like to stand still there, but that seems like really bad idea actually to do. We got way less that round. Laser turret, okay. Lantern, yes. Armor. Another branch. That turns into blue branch. And maybe we just skip out on these. I would like those two, but yeah. There's blue branch, man. There's the cursed blunderbussy. Cursed blunderbussy, man. The chameleon is good though because it gives you more dodge when you're standing still though. But yeah, so that's going to be the other red branch basically pretty much. So we can have like a final red branch before we go in on the final wave. If we don't go endless course, obviously. Still no problem for Mr. Streamer. So many turrets. Like what? Like that's like. It's like how many structures we have? 24 structures. Is that true? We have one for each of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the laser turret. 5. 6 with Wandering Bot. 7 I'm guessing from Tyler. 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's only 10 that I'm counting. Right, so it will be 10 plus 2, so that will be 20. So there are some other things that also count as being, because this were 4, right? 4, 5 from the laser turret, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, because 10 will be comparable to 20 because it says there that you're gaining 24 armor, so that would have to be, because 10 is 20 of course, so then it would have to be 12 somehow. So is it because of the pocket factory? Have we already killed 2 3s then? Because we don't have an extra 3s, of course, obviously, so you know. Getting a lot of overtime there and stuff there, so yeah. Let's just pick up a bunch of stuff. Now, of course, if we had if we had the mirror, if we, for example, would have gotten the mirror early, the mirror basically would have pulled in everything, and then we could have used stand still all the time, basically, and still gotten like all the loot on the stage, which would have been insane. Okay. Melee damage, yes. Get the tool, combine these two, boom, boom, boom. Go into the red one here. There's only one wave left though. Unless we go endless again. Ja, då tar det grej. Yes. There we get a pretty good engineering item. Lock that, and we're going endless. I just want to see, because this build hasn't been super great so far. And, yeah, this is going to be suicidal if you stay here. Yeah. They might not even be able to survive this wave here. That's the main problem with going endless, because then the wave doesn't end if we kill the 2 bosses. Because Yeah. Main problem is that we don't have what's our armor? Armor is at 15, so that is keeping us alive somewhat. But yeah. Did I look at the wrong thing? Yeah, I looked at the wrong thing. The shark dude should actually be pretty simple to kill. Okay, there's another chest though. We do have a lot of time here actually, so we probably have no problem killing them here. Again, more over here, please. So we have some damage over here, or we have quite a lot of damage over here actually. We have 21 engineering, boom, 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 he's gonna be dead. Very soon, there we go, there's one treasure chest. So come on, please kill the boingy dude, please. Up here, please, be a chest. No. Quick wasp, yes, I just really engineering even though it's less dodge. Eh? What? Every different weapon you have. Is that because we have 3 different weapons? Huh? Yeah, but that's worth it because we only lose 3% attack speed. Yes. 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 Rerun. Exoskeleton. SP generation for burning enemies. Okay, go for that. Go for broke. Happy trigger finger lasers. The mini finger lasers. The finger lasers. Yeah, that massively buffed. Something massively buffed our attack speed, I feel like. Yeah. So what discount was having 3 different weapons then? But I mean, it's the same weapon. So what the heck do they mean? I don't get exactly how that means. Is it just that we have 3 free slots? Is that what is the thing? Whatever. Or is it that we have... because it's not... It can't be the turret. Like, is it just the Tyler and the flying dude? They count as actual weapons. Like, not as structures. I mean, they have to count as structures because otherwise the other thing wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, and as I said, moving around sometimes is actually way worse and stuff that, you know. It definitely seems like you're meant to stand still here. You can get the exoskeleton. Hello, Mr. Shark Dude. Yeah, I don't want to stand too much still here. Unless... That's just a lot of damage, man. Hey, here, look at this. We have a bunch of rocket turrets and they're fighting really quickly. What's our engineering? Our engineering is at 32, right? Yeah. We have 9 HP radiant, which is not super good. We have like a lot more before. What is our HP consumable? Have we lost it? No. I need to be careful now. I don't want to die this. Yeah, so other than that, then they don't drop reds now and stuff that, you know. Elemental damage was good because that will be free engineering, so 2 elemental damage, so we should, yeah. And Snowball is really good with that. Excellent. Burning enemies will get important eventually. That will be good as well. More turrets, please. More elemental damage. Nice. So yeah, so elemental damage is used basically. Elemental damage is literally free used, you know, engineering damage at this point. Stuff that's right. Just, you know. Yeah, also the fact that we don't even have the maximum amount of wrenches yet either is very interesting as well. So that's, yeah. We haven't seen a single fish also, by the way, so you know that is something. Our curse isn't super high, which of course is, you know, a bit of an issue. The problem is, of course, if we had enough use pickup radius, then that would be very, very helpful as well, you know. The fact that we haven't seen a single cocoon or anything, or the barn even, is a bit, you know, odd. Get that first. Get that. Your 1% for every knockback you have. Yeah, so you see, it becomes very, very dangerous to stand still. Yeah, we haven't seen the medical turret yet, though, which is something as well that is very important, right? Because we haven't also gotten more like incendiary turrets as well and stuff like that, because it is good to actually get all the different types of turrets. And you will eventually then start seeing like the red turrets and stuff like that, you know. As well. Maybe it's just that once you reach a certain amount of lux, you won't see certain turrets anymore. But I also feel like the higher the wave goes, certain items become way more rare to see or whatever, right? Because I do definitely think there are weights, certain characters what has like a chance to show up or whatever, right? That is just more knockback, which makes that better. Yeah, that's just good because of more curse. No. I don't know, can we destroy them? Maybe we can. What is our engineering? Engineering is only 40. Still is very, very low at this point, I feel like, you know. We might actually die here because we don't have that much healing. I got hit by projectile, yeah. I mean, I didn't care. I knew that was going to go bad because we were missing some engineering items that were used very, very useful to have. Stuff that like we didn't do very, very well. But we could have had way more branches already at this point. And even though on the artificial we had like 3 red branches for a long time, at that point I already had like maybe like 70 engineering or even more. And I did manage to get like the nail, for example, for scaling, the frozen heart, for example, and stuff that, you know. And yeah, you know, so. But that's still a run completed, of course. So it's Yak or Machochist next. Let's try with Yak, because I have tried with Yak before, but, you know. So he does more damage to bosses and elites. And we get more materials, but we have less enemies, but the enemies are deadlier. I'm not gonna do turrets again. Sticks could maybe work. And I would love the spoon though, but a spoon is not very good from the beginning. Unless we get lucky with burn. Actually, let's try it, man. Because, I mean, the thing is, right, that you might think that, oh, you won't multiply of it, and yes, it scales with your health as well, and stuff that, you know. But we probably want to get something early on that can just give us the... Having, like, little enemies also is why they give him harvesting. Very high harvesting of material drops. Because there are less enemies. Stuff like that, you know. It comes with a spoon. Elemental damage. There's the burning. I really will want to get that because maybe it doesn't show up again after that now. Get 2 spoons. Combine spoons. Torch. Combine torch. Roll. Lighting shift could be good. Okay, so we have 2 material items. So we have a thing that can cause the burning effect. Scat sausage early is gonna be really important here, but we're gonna go for more spoons, of course, obviously. But we need to have good enough burning weapons and stuff that, right? Because we're not gonna go for like the use everything being a spoon and stuff that. However, once we have enough burning effects, we could get rid of some of the burn things, but we want elemental damage here. There's another spoon. Oh man. Spoon plus spoon plus spoon. Oh, that is spoon. Here's the torch. We can lock. Nice. Because yeah, so that will also scale via health as well. And yeah, you always crit when hitting burning target, but that counts as a blunt, so that will give us armor max health. And that counts as primitive elemental, of course, but yeah. There are some really interesting like synergy items and stuff that, right? We can, like for example, spoon can work really good with the chef knife style item or whatever, the chopper. But because the chopper like just makes consumables better. Although I forgot to do the... Oh man. I'm missing out on the chest there. It put some damage. The torch. Get spicy sauces. Look at that. Yeah, more enemies with that. Actually, let's do this. Boom, boom, boom. Combine these 2. Boom, boom, boom. Another torch. Scared sausage. Attacks have about 25% chance to deal 3 times, and that scales with burning, or that scales with elemental damage. So yes, that's good. Now we don't want to have torches, of course, obviously. You know, there are other things we want to have as well. Yes, the flamethrower would be nice in this build idea and stuff that, you know. We aren't, you know, a chef or anything, you know, but we are, you know, because the thing that's interesting with the chopper is, of course, the chopper makes it so the consumables heal you for more and stuff that, you know. Because you're preparing a dish or whatever, you know. Okay. Max HP. Will help our damage. Elemental damage there. Get the scavengers first. We don't want that yet because that is still very expensive. Actually, let's skip out on the alien for now. Oh man, yeah, I know how good the Thunder Sword is. But I feel like that will slow carry us, you know. And then it's like hitting an enemy spawns to projectiles. That is probably about burning, damage and slows around them. Lost Warrior is cheap enough to get. I mean, the interesting thing is, if we get a Thunder Sword, would that be enough and then just have everything else be spoons? But would that be enough? Just if that is the question, but because we can have 4, and this also works really well with this because of the max health. Yeah, consumables are. So if we could get a lot of spicy, so spicy, you know, spicy sauce as well, that would be really good as well. Yeah, the alien is a bit scary, of course, because the thing is, of course, that yes, enemies have 175% more health and 35% more damage and stuff that, you know, so. But you do also more damage to bosses and elites. And you know, there's 70% less enemies, but yeah. It's not attack speed. There's the Thunder Sword. Recycle this. Recycle this. Get 3 styles in 1 hit. And we're gonna be looking for the spoons, so let's get alien. No, not locked alien tongue yet. But yeah. I think that might be enough because that will actually be via melee and elemental damage. Hitting an enemy spawns projectiles. Now the question is, does it burn on its own or is it only the projectile that burns? Maybe we haven't seen anything survive like a hit yet from it, so we don't know. I know, yes, we could get multiple Thunder Swords, but you know. Yeah, if we get another Thunder Sword, because Thunder Swords are only purple and above, I believe. Thunder Swords do not show up as a like tier 3 item, right? But this is tier 3. You know what I mean. Our health isn't that great yet because we have no HP regen and we get no more from consumables. 8% damage. Yes. Luck. Another spoon. Get this. Get the 3 spawn. Or 3 spawn. Attack speed. Crit. That's actually really good for the elemental damage, and then we lock that good. Yes. So I'm doing a very different style cooking. Having a fucking lightning sword and this being like, you know. Because yeah, imagine right if we would have gotten a gentle alien already and stuff that, yes, you know, we could make ourselves have like a shit ton of enemies. Then right, you know. Yeah, our elemental damage is not very, very high yet or anything, you know. We definitely need to get the elemental damage up and stuff that, you know, in order for things to actually work. No. 15 attack speed, yes. Elemental damage. Yes, yes, yes. Reroll. Ice cube, yes. Lock the celery tree for now. Man wings are good though, but that. Lock penguin as well. What's respawn? Or one more reroll game. Good.